Welcome to the Unified Mental Health Team's parent presentation. Today we'll be focusing our discussion on cyberbullying, social media, and mental health. This presentation is being recorded and will be available to access through the Unified Mental Health Team section of our school website. My name is Dallas Swerchek, and I'm the school psychologist at Rockridge, and I will let all of our presenters introduce themselves, starting with Ms. Rosenfeld.
Good morning, I'm Mrs. Rosenfeld, and I'm the school social worker at Rockridge.
Good morning, I'm Fiona Brown. I'm the student assistant specialist at Rockridge.
Good morning, I'm Jennifer Dominguez, and I'm one of the school counselors here at Rockridge.
Good morning, I'm Nicole Bryan, and I'm also one of the school counselors here at Rockridge.
Good morning, my name is Amrita Kata, and I'm also a school counselor at Rockridge.
Good morning, my name is Maria Dacey, and I'm one of the school counselors at Rockridge.
Hello, I'm Kevin Terry. I'm the Director of School Counseling.
Good morning, I'm Jarrell Taylor, and I am also a school counselor.
Great, so if you have questions at the end of the presentation, we will share our email address, and you can email the mental health team with any questions that you have or any personal situations.
With the prevalence of social media and digital forums, comments, photos, posts, and content shared by individuals can often be viewed by strangers as well as acquaintances. The content an individual shares online creates a kind of permanent public record of their views, activities, and behavior. This public record can be thought of as an online reputation which may be accessible to schools, employers, colleges, clubs, and others who may be researching an individual now or in the future. Cyberbullying can harm the online reputations of everyone involved, not just the person being bullied, but those doing the bullying or participating in it. Cyberbullying has unique concerns in it that it can be persistent, permanent, and hard to notice.
Some common forms of cyberbullying can take place on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, through text messaging or direct messaging, and online forums. There are things you can do to help prevent cyberbullying and protect your child from harmful digital behavior. For example, you can monitor your student's social media site and their browsing history, review or reset your child's phone location and privacy settings, follow or friend your student on social media, stay up to date on the latest apps and social media websites, and know your child's username and passwords for emails and social media. There are also parental controls and monitoring softwares that you can use, which you'll find on the resource slide.
One of the things you want to do as a parent is to be aware of warning signs that may show that your child is having difficulties with online interactions with other kids. And so your child may not have all of these warning signs, but coupled together, like with many things, you may notice behavioral changes. You may notice avoidance of wanting to spend time with friendships or to get into activities that they used to want to do, or to avoid friendships. You may also notice mood changes or differences in what activities they choose to do. As a parent, you want to make sure that you're monitoring online activity and that you're also monitoring and asking your child what's going on in their life and making sure that you're aware of who they're interacting with and how those interactions are going.
Steps to take to help your child. As Ms. Bryan said, talk with your child, recognize changes in mood or behavior, and explore what the cause may be. Try to determine if the changes happen around a child's use of their digital device. If you are friends with your child on any of the devices, any of the platforms, check to see if there's been any negative comments made about your child. Ask questions to your child. Ask what's happening, how it started, and who is involved. And document. This is very important. Keep a record of what is happening and where. Take screenshots of harmful posts or content if possible. Most laws and policies note that bullying is a repeated behavior, so records help to document it. Okay, and then report what you found. Most social media platforms do have policies and processes and ways that you can report cyberbullying. Also, they will take down the unwanted or negative comments that have been made about your child. If your child has received physical threats, or if it's a potential crime or illegal behavior is occurring, report it directly to the police. Okay, and then use their peers, the mentors, their trusted adults in their life. They can sometimes intervene publicly to positively influence a situation where negative or hurtful content posts about a child. They can post positive comments, on the sites. Public interventions can include positive posting comments about the person targeted with bullying to try to shift the conversation away from the negative comments that were posted. It can also help to reach out to the child who is bullying and the target to express your concern. If possible, try to determine if more professional support is needed for those involved, such as speaking with a school counselor or a mental health professional at the school.
I'd say 6 months ago that I was pretty much a typical teenager.
I had this anxiety and stress of school.
Stress between school and extracurricular activities.
My mental health was better than it had been in a long time.
I was pretty happy most of the time.
I was just waiting to hear back from colleges, very excited. But,
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The coronavirus is a pandemic.
Many schools around the world, as you know, have shut down.
It's going to have a huge impact.
Right now, with the coronavirus and quarantine and everything, I'd say I've kind of retreated to a more isolated version of myself.
I definitely feel a little more frustrated and sad.
You start to worry about your future, and you start to worry about, am I ever going to see my friends again?
I'd say especially in the months right before the virus, I was really branching out at my new school and making connections, but I do feel as if I've fallen back.
Just really not knowing how things are going to turn out and just rethinking your future and your life, and it really took a toll on me.
What's been worrying me the most during the pandemic has been getting sick, or my family members getting sick.
I'm very, concerned about being a carrier of the virus or bringing it home or spreading it between people by going out.
When you're isolated by yourself, you're really just alone with your thoughts.
I've never said this before, but I miss school. I'm worried that it's just going to extend longer and longer, the closure.
I definitely know a lot of people who are struggling with depression and anxiety.
Especially, I think, for transgender people, I've been hearing from my friends, looking at your own body image in a camera or listening to your voice, especially for people that haven't made transitions yet, is very dysphoria producing.
I do have some friends that suffer from some mental health issues, and they do seem a lot more down now because of the virus.
I also have a friend who has some family troubles, and I feel like her stress has been amplified now that with quarantine and stuff like that, not being able to see her also makes it worse because we can't really talk about it, and I can't really comfort her the way I would be able to if we see each other face to face.
I do think that it's possible that technology does play a role in the fact that my generation is more likely to suffer from mental health issues.
My, 15 years old and younger self was very much influenced by social media and seeing people live their perfect lives.
I feel like sometimes that might make people seem like, oh, that person has a wonderful life.
I think social media can absolutely help build connections between kids.
I constantly message friends, I see their posts, I like their posts. I like to keep up with what they're doing, especially now in a time where I'm not with them every day like I would be in school.
I have family members from other countries, so it's helpful to talk to them.
Technology is just evolving in our day-to-day lives now, Zoom and social media, and I'm very grateful for that.
I would tell a person younger than me who's struggling with a mental health issue like anxiety that even if it feels safer to keep to yourself, to ask for help.
Take a little break off of social media because it does have a lot of sensitive content on there.
This isn't the end of the world. You're gonna get through this.
Even creating a vision board of what you want to do 5 years from now, will really motivate you to think more about the future and think more about the possibilities in the future.
I think that the best way to go through anything is to talk it through and just, it's always better when you have someone's hand to hold.
We are in a particularly isolating and difficult time, so struggling with worries and concerns is expected, and amplified stress and seeking comfort comes along with that. So teens have a greater reliance on technology to connect with friends and family members. However, there are many positive aspects to social media. It's a great way to stay connected with family members and friends. I personally use it to keep in touch with relatives that live out of the country. So it can be very much a positive thing if used correctly. So it's a way to join or promote worthwhile causes, raise awareness on important issues, to seek or offer emotional support during tough times, finding new friends or communities, networking with other people who share similar interests and ambitions, things such as sports, hobbies, cultural relations, things like that. Finding vital social connections. If you live in a remote area, for example, if you have a limited social group, finding a support system to help with social anxiety, and it can help with expanding your independence, and also if you are a part of a marginalized group, it can create a way for connectedness. Finding an outlet for your creative and self-expression, and also to discover sources of valuable information and learning.
So of course, while social media can help us stay connected, there are downsides. Even if we know that the images we're seeing on social media are edited, they can still make us, especially teens, feel insecure about how we look or what's going on in our own life. Other people tend to share just the highlights of their lives on social media and rarely the low points that everyone experiences. So this can cause people and teens to think that they aren't good enough. And social media can exacerbate feelings that others are having more fun or living better lives than we are. And the idea that, you're missing out on certain things can impact self-esteem, trigger anxiety, and fuel even greater social media use. So FOMO, or fear of missing out, can compel teens to pick up their phones every few minutes to check for updates or compulsively respond to each and every alert, such as not wanting to get behind on the group chat. And the documentary, The Social Network, does a really great job at showing how social media is designed to keep us picking up our phones and checking for updates, and that's really how they make money. Social media can never be a replacement for real-world human connection. It requires in-person contact with others to trigger the hormones that alleviate stress and make us feel happier, healthier, and more positive. There's actually a study at the University of Pennsylvania that found that high usage of Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram actually increases feelings of loneliness. And there have also been multiple studies that have found that a strong link between heavy social media use, like for hours a day, and an increased risk for depression, anxiety, loneliness, self-harm, and even suicidal ideation. So using social media a lot could be masking other underlying problems such as stress, depression, or boredom. If you find that you or your teen is spending more time on social media when they're feeling down, lonely, or bored, they may be using it as a way to distract themselves from unpleasant feelings or to self-soothe their mood. So social media use can create this negative self-perpetuating cycle. When a person feels lonely, depressed, anxious, or stressed, They might go on social media as a way to relieve the boredom or feel connected to others. But using social media more often, though, increases that fear of missing out and feelings of inadequacy, dissatisfaction, and isolation. In turn, these feelings negatively affect a person's mood and worsen those symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. And then the worsening symptoms cause people to go back to social media even more, and so that spiral kind of continues. So it is important to note that everyone is different, and there is no specific amount of time spent on social media or the frequency a person picks up their phone to check for updates or the number of posts someone makes that indicates use is becoming unhealthy. Rather, it really has to do with the impact of the time spent on social media has on your teen's mood and other aspects of their lives, along with their motivations for using it. So just on the slide, you can see some signs that social media is impacting mental health. Comparing themselves unfavorably to others on social media, experiencing cyberbullying, like was talked about earlier, being distracted, having no time for self-reflection. So if your teen is spending all their time on social media and not really doing anything for themselves or doing anything to better themselves, engaging in risky behavior to gain likes. There's a lot of, TikTok challenges and different challenges out there that is important to be aware of. Suffering from sleep problems, so bringing the phone into bed and scrolling until, super late in the night. And then, of course, worsening symptoms of anxiety or depression.
So although there can be a significant impact from the use of social media and technology, there are some really simple things that we can do to improve our mental health, not only if we're starting to notice impacts, but also things that we can do just as preventative measures to get ahead of this potential impact. Things like reducing time online, changing your focus to something else, spending more time with offline friends, and practicing gratitude as a way to boost your mood and kind of increase a sense of connection. Additionally, parents can support their student in trying to reduce the impact of social media by enforcing boundaries around social media, such as monitoring and limiting use, taking designated technology and social media breaks. You can educate your child on the impact of seeing a skewed version of others' lives. And finally, you can support your student in engaging in healthy offline experiences that increase their sense of connection to other people around them. Communicating mostly through electronics does little to meet our human need for connection and can leave us feeling isolated, as we mentioned before, in a sea of other people's highlight reels. In addition, given the varied demands and stressors of our current environment, we may neglect our needs in favor of what we feel that we should do. The Sources of Strength Wheel is an excellent visual tool that serves as a reminder of the people and practices that help us to cope with the ups and downs in our life and to be at our best. The 8 strengths promoted by Sources of Strength are family support, which can be chosen family. It's not just the family that you were born into. It could be found family, adoptive family, etc. Positive friends, who are the people that encourage us to reach our goals, who are always looking out for us and cheering us on. Mentors, people that are older than us that might offer some advice and guidance after having some more life experience. Healthy activities are the things that we do to boost our mood and to manage our stress, the things we do just for fun. Generosity is an opportunity to donate our time, our resources, our energy to others, and that has a major positive effect on our mood. Spiritual practices are anything that feed our spirit and that allow us to have a sense of connection to something beyond ourselves. Physical health are those hygiene practices and ways that we take care of our body because we do have a strong mind-body connection. And then finally, mental health refers to the ways that we manage our emotions, take care of our brain in a healthy way. So by finding ways to connect with a variety of strengths in our lives, we can find balance and be better prepared for healthy problem solving. Using the Sources of Strength wheel as a roadmap for wellness can help us ensure that we are on the right track. These are some resources that you can use for additional learning. We hope you found the information helpful today, and you're welcome to email our team with any questions or requests for future presentations at the email address here on the screen, rockridgementalhealth@lcpsorg.onmicrosoft.com. Thank you.